It's finally here. It's Tuesday, 8 p.m. It's time for CCUK Resin Q&A Live, sponsored by apexresin.co.uk. Don't forget, use my discount code CCUK, save some money. That's right. Tonight and every Tuesday at 8 p.m. we're going live on the only resin talk show where you meet your favorite artists and creators behind the gloves. CCUK Resin Q&A Live. We'll be talking with fellow resin artists and creators and answering all of your questions live. Make sure you stick around. Ask all your questions in caps lock. Get involved, share this video with your friends and family, and enjoy the show. And with that, I'd also like to take a moment to say a massive thank you to everyone that supported this channel, guests, sponsors, members, and subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. We all grow together. The more questions you ask, the better the live will be. So be creative and ask away. Make sure at the end of the video you give it a thumbs up and comment. That's how we all keep growing. But for now, sit back, grab a drink, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi everyone, it's Tuesday, it's 8 p.m. You know what that means. It's time for another CCUK Resin Q&A Live. And I am so excited tonight because I've been talking to our guest for a little while and never actually spoken to her face-to-face. So I'm really excited about this one. But just to let you guys know as well, Lisa's asked me to make a bit of an announcement, one of my mods. So she's got a poorly hand today. So she's not going to be typing much in chat, but she is still going to send me those questions through. So make sure you put them in caps lock. But if she's not talking much in chat tonight, she's not being rude. She's just got a poorly hand. So there we go. But tonight we have got Kristin Mulvaney from Apo Kreations, all the way from Kuwait. So let's say hi to Kristin. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I see we've got a few in chat already, which is great. A lot of the regulars. We've got Laura, we've got Nikki, we've got Angelina, we've got Ord as well. Who else have we got? We've got KD as well. And in fact, I'll show you a bit of a picture that I've just been sent from KD. Those of you that don't know, KD likes playing around with AI images. And he's done one of Kristin. So I'm going to share it. Apparently, that is you in AI. So there we go.
Nice.
KD has sent it through. So thanks for that, KD. I love getting these images through. He does them of absolutely everyone. And I think it's great to see different people as AI would see them, to be fair. But no, interesting. And I know he's recently done a platypus as well, because we talked about it on the show and it came out amazing. So well done for that, KD. But tonight is all about you, Kristin. It's all about your channel. And I've got a few questions, but why don't you just start by giving your channel a shout out, telling people how to find you, what got you into resin, and what got you into YouTube?
Well, as you heard, my channel is Apo Kreations, and that's actually a play on the fact anybody that's ever been affiliated with the military knows that when you're overseas, the only way that you can get your mail is through the APO system, or the Army Postal Office system. And so back in 2021, I came to Kuwait, and that's when I started doing resin. And I had seen my daughter's ex-mother-in-law was doing the resin tumblers. And so I thought, oh yeah, I can do that, right? I think we've all said
that. Looks so easy, yeah.
Yes, I can totally do that. And so when I got to Kuwait, and like I was telling you previously, the highways here are pure chaos.
Yeah.
The only time they're tolerable is Friday mornings before noon, because nobody, that Friday and Saturday is their weekend, like our
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday. So I was like, look, I'm not leaving the house unless I have to get groceries. So I need something to do. And so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna try that whole resin tumbler thing.
Yeah.
And it just grew from there.
And interestingly, that's
So
one of your most viewed videos as well, I think.
probably.
When I did some research, I think that's one of your most viewed videos with about 1,200 views on it, I think.
So I used to, and before I really got into YouTube, because I've only been on YouTube for, oh gosh, I don't know, like a year or two maybe. And I didn't really post a whole lot, but when I
Yeah.
was here the last time when I started my resin journey, one of the big things that I used to do, I tumbler making is so relaxing for me. And what I used to do is every time we would have somebody redeploy back home, I would make them a tumbler. And you know, when you work with somebody 12 hours a day, you know, you get to know people. And
You can
so,
customize it.
yes. And so I would put funny little things on there, and then I would put their name along with the um, our RCCKU, which was our name at the time, and then the dates that they were deployed. And that way they always had something to, you know, not only remind them of being here and the family that we created while they were here, but
Yeah.
you know, it was funny usually. So
Well, I think that's great as well because I mean that's some of my favorite pieces that I make, pieces that I just give away, and it's to like you say, put memories in there that they can preserve forever. Whenever they look at a piece of resin, they can think about that individual or that time in the life. It's great.
yes, thank you, KD. I appreciate that.
Oh, apparently you're meeting Laura the first week in November.
Yes, so I the job that I do over here, I deal a lot with the folks at Rock Island Arsenal in Illinois.
Okay.
And so they're having like a conference in the beginning of November. And so when I told Laura, I said, "Oh yeah," I said, "Hopefully I'll be able to get over there soon." And she was like, "What? I'm right there." So we're gonna plan a little meetup and maybe do a collab with
Oh, that'd be
some
amazing.
podcasts or something. So I'm excited.
So I presume you just jump on a plane and you get free flights backward and forward.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I suppose that's one of the biggest perks of being in the forces, really.
Yeah, and we can claim all the frequent flyer miles, right? So even
Okay.
though, yeah, so even though, you know, we're not the ones paying for it, we get to, you know, if you have that airline, you know, program,
So I
whatever,
suppose
then you
if
can
you do
claim the
end up
miles.
commuting a lot through work, you can build up enough miles for a vacation.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we've already got a few questions coming through. I will probably save a few. So if you've got any questions in chat, just send them through. But one that's come through from Lula is funnily enough, it's one of the first questions I asked you is how hot is it there?
So today, like I said in the beginning, before we came online, it was, I think it was 32 degrees Celsius this morning. So kind of chilly for me, because normally in, in the heat of the summer, it gets upwards of, you know, 49, 50 degrees
Wow.
Celsius. Um, and I think today, like by noon, 1 o'clock, it was probably 43.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing though. If providing you like the hot weather.
Yeah. No, it gets old.
Yeah. I'm sure it does. I bet you've got a good aircon system though.
Absolutely. Everywhere. Even even the bazaars downtown have little aircon units in their cubbies.
So tell me about, obviously, resin wise. I mean, obviously, you mentioned that you sort of did it for a little while, then you sort of didn't post any videos, then you come back to it. What was it about resin that got you into it?
Um, well, and again, mainly it was the tumblers, right? But then I started watching Petra, right? PT's Home Art.
Yeah. She's
When
actually
I was,
watching on Insta at the minute. I can tell that she's watching on Insta.
oh
So
wow, hi
hi.
Petra. So I used to watch her and Lillian, and then I jumped onto of course, Claire, right, and Tracy,
Yeah.
um, and all of those, all of the people that we see regularly. And I was like, you know what? Again, I can do that.
Yeah.
So, so at this point, I have. Somebody said to me the other day, because I just figured out that I think that I have undiagnosed ADHD because I was watching something on TikTok the other day, and he says people with ADHD don't have um, hobbies; they have obsessions.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
me. And right now, my obsession is all things resin and glitter, and I have probably and don't judge anybody. I probably have 300 bottles of glitter.
Wow. That's a lot of glitter.
Not not even joking. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
see, I didn't used to like glitter either. I when I first started my channel, I was like, nope, not putting glitter in. It makes it look cheap. But what I did find very quickly is it depends on what glitters you use. And if you use a quality
Absolutely.
one, it looks amazing. So I learned
Yes.
that very quickly.
Yeah. Oh, and that's yeah, because I think we all start with the well, in the States, right? It's Walmart or Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and we get the craft glitter, and then you get your first. You're my glitter idol. And then you get your first bottle or bag of quality glitter, and it's on from that point on.
Yeah. As soon as you see it in the resin as
Ye-
well, it looks
Yes.
completely different to the cheap stuff. And you're like, oh, now I can see why.
Yeah, now I can see why it's, $8 a bottle. Okay. All right. Yeah, but worth it. So,
But again, I think, do you know what? It's always fun to experiment with new things anyway. And I think your taste may change as you try different products as well. So when I first started, everything I did was pretty much mica powders. Everything, because I got like a big pack of them from Timu, and it cost
oh
me like
yeah.
$10 for like 24 bottles. So everything was mica. And then I got some alcohol inks, and I was like, oh, we can have some different designs with these. Then I've got some pigment paste, and I was like, oh, these are different as well. And you just keep adding, it never stops. And
Yes.
then you try and mix them all in together and see what happens with that. But that's
Yeah.
part of the fun, I think.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So that was resin. What made you sort of want to go from sort of creating, I suppose, to wanting to do YouTube?
So my brother-in-law is well, I mean, I watch YouTube all the time, right? It's if I'm not crafting, I'm watching somebody else crafting.
Yeah,
So, I don't watch TV because I don't speak Arabic, right? So you can't understand anything anyway. So I'm like, all right, well, if I'm not crafting, I'm gonna watch the people that I follow craft
yeah,
and see if I can get some kind of inspiration or try a new technique. And so it was my sister that said, you ought to start putting this on YouTube. And I'm like, well, there's so much out there. But, I was like, well, whatever. And and so I think it was when I lived in Germany, um, and I was watching so much of Petra and Lillian and Petra Youngblood, that I was like, you know what? Yeah, yeah, let me give it a shot because what's the worst that can happen, right? Nobody watches. And
yeah.
then yeah, right. And there's always your family, right? Subscribe. You better subscribe. I have all my grandkids that have phones, all my kids. Yes. So,
See, none of my
there's
family are
20
subscribed.
subscribers right there.
Yeah, none of my family are subscribed. My girls won't. They refuse. It's not cool at their age. And my dad probably isn't into craft, so none of my family are subscribed to my channel. So I suppose the resin community's become my family that are subscribed.
Yeah, well, yeah, and really, the only person that really watches out of my entire family is my sister, and again, she and I were horrible growing up, right? We at each other's throats because she's the
Yeah.
oldest and I'm the youngest, and so it wasn't until after I went off and joined the army, I went in to the army at 17, so
Wow.
did my 20 years and now I transitioned from being in the army to working as a civilian for the army.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so she and I are super close now. And she's my biggest fan. Shout out to my sister Meg. But her husband has a YouTube channel and it's phenomenal. It's all about he's a mechanic
Okay.
and it's called Wrenching with Kenny. And
Okay.
so of course her nickname, like you've got Mr. Goblin and all of that, her nickname is Mrs. Wrenching. So yeah, so she's probably the one that really talked me into it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
it's been awesome.
so what have you learned since that first video? Because you've been doing it for about a year. I think you've got how many videos? 152, I think it was when I looked. And you've got 723 subs before this live. So hopefully you'll have a few more than that after this live. That's the whole idea. So people haven't already, go and subscribe. But yeah, I suppose what have you learned in that time?
Well, one of the biggest things I learned is I have to bring what my coworker calls customer service Kristen. So, I'm terrible at again, I get squirreled a lot. And so I'll be doing something and I'll start a sentence and then I'll just like nothing. And then I'll remember, oh, I forgot to finish that sentence. And so
Yeah,
like a minute later, I'll trail on and finish what I was talking about. So I've learned to try and be a little bit more cognizant of the fact that even though I'm really not talking to somebody, I'm talking to a lot of somebodies.
yeah.
And I learned what a voiceover was. I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm like,
See,
what's a voiceover? What is
I
that?
only do voiceovers if I've made a mistake and I forgot to record with my microphone, which I do all the time. Normally,
Yes.
I find if I film on a Wednesday, that's when I have the biggest problems because my transmitter is still plugged into my laptop from this live. And then I try and plug it in the phone. And whenever you get two transmitters at once, it just cancels the microphone out.
Gotcha. All right. See, I just learned something else too. So
Takes you twice as long to edit, though, I think, with voiceovers.
yeah, I think so. But that's another thing that I learned. I learned about editing videos because,
Yeah,
like I see a lot of crafters, their husbands will do all the editing for them. And well, you got Wendy, right? With Mr. Editor.
yeah,
And I love my husband to death. We've been together 27 years, but he is so technologically challenged
yeah.
that that there's
But
no
you don't want
way.
him to do your editing.
No, no, I don't. Lord knows what it would end up being. So, you have to film it, then you have to edit. And the other bad thing that I have a horrible habit of doing is I got into the habit of filming everything, right? Every project, I'll be in the middle of one project, I put it to the side so I can let it cure, and then I
Yeah,
start something else.
yeah. And then you've
And
got three on the go.
right, and then
Yeah,
I'm like, did I finish that? Did I unmold it on camera? Did I, so then you're scrolling through your camera and then I came to the realization that there is a limit to how much a camera on your phone can hold.
Yeah, there is.
So, yeah.
And your laptop,
Yeah.
interestingly. So, yeah, I learned that I had to upgrade my laptop when I started doing YouTube because I didn't realize, but the format that I do them in, every video was anywhere between, I think it was 1.5 gig and 3 gig. So
Wow.
very quickly, my laptop completely filled. So I had to then go and upgrade it, even though I had an external hard drive because it was just slowing the whole thing down. So
Yeah.
you don't realize how much space, like on a modern iPhone, videos take.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But yeah, the editing's my least favorite part. And people don't realize that a 30-minute video could be 3 hours of editing.
Yeah. Especially
Which
if
is,
you've forgotten something and you have to quick text in something or put an emoji or like I've gotten to the point where if I do something stupid or whatever, like I'll go and put a GIF on the screen. So there's that. And then, do you want music? Do you not want music? Do I have something that's fitting, or do I have to go back to Epidemic Sound or Suno and make something, or do I just pick something out of the catalog? So
it's
it's
a lot of
work.
work. People don't
Yes.
realize, but it is an awful lot of work. And let's say you do just one video a week, it's probably 4 or 5 hours work.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
So
of
it,
course, I'm up at 5:30 in the morning to leave here at about 6:45 to get to work by 7:30, and then I work until between 5 and 6 at night, and then
yeah.
it's another 40-minute drive home. And so by the time I get home, I got a solid 2 hours of crafting and YouTube watching
And then
or
bed.
editing. Yeah, and then I got to get in bed and start it all over again.
Your
So
schedule
yeah,
is the same as mine, I'm afraid. So we were talking about
yeah,
it for the show because I'm getting up at 4:30 now to get some exercise in and lose some of the midriff. And I'm going to the gym, obviously, before work. I then get in the office for about 8 o'clock. I'm there till 6. Get home about 6:30, quickly have something to eat, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, and then it's bedtime. That's it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it becomes your life, though, I think. That's the problem, is it takes over.
Yes, yeah, it does. And and I told my husband too. I was like, so you're talking about, you can't wait till I retire. And I said, I'm not really going to be retired. I said, because I'm going to end up spending all my time in the she shed crafting and
Yeah.
filming and editing. And so I said, you're still never going to see me.
It's just he can come and see you. I suppose you're not as far
Yeah.
away that way, but
Yeah,
yeah,
he can just walk outside and go into the she shed instead of having to call me on the phone.
yeah. But no, it's interesting actually because again, I bet with the temperatures there as well, I bet that makes it a little bit more difficult to handle resin as well in some ways.
So, and again, like you mentioned, we have an amazing aircon system, and
Yeah,
I keep my apartment at between 19 and 20 on average.
yeah,
Unless it gets real muggy, and then I have to turn it down a little bit. But a lot of times what I'll do is, if I'm making a tumbler and I just need like 30 mLs of resin, I'll put it in the cup, and then I'll go outside. I have a little itty bitty balcony that I sit outside, and I'll stir my resin while I'm watching YouTube videos, and it's
yeah.
so hot out that it makes it like water.
Right.
So, and then I just go back in and I quick, throw my gloves, throw a new pair of gloves on, and boom, I'm there. It's
Yeah.
done. So,
Well, the only time I've had flash cures was when it got really hot here in the summer because I didn't even think about the temperature with the resin because obviously I don't. I live in the UK. I haven't got aircon inside or anything like that because we're lucky if we get 5 weeks of nice warm weather a year. And the only time I got flash cures was when I didn't think about that and it was really hot and I just did my resin as normal and then boom, flash cures. So it was interesting.
yeah. Yeah, I don't spend a lot of time, like if I'm doing that, maybe just the 5 minutes that it takes me to stir.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Any longer and it'll get too hot. and then I'll go to put it on the tumbler or pour it, and it'll be all goopy and yeah. So
we've had a few more questions come through, so I'm going to go through these because I'm going to mix it up a little bit, if that's okay.
Okay.
So Lisa wants to know what a bazaar is. I think I know, but I'm going to let you answer that.
Okay, so a bazaar is basically just well, we've got a couple here. So mostly it's just like a bunch of booths that, you know, sell. My grandpa used to call it bric-a-brac, right?
Yeah, it's like a market.
Yes, exactly. And then we have one, so we have two kinds. So we have the your regular bazaar, but then we have something that they call a souk. It's
Okay.
SOUK.
Yeah.
And that is a huge element of everything. So you can walk down an aisle in the souk, and to your left, you'll see somebody selling like really nice quality carpets.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you'll see silk scarves, cashmere, and then two booths down, you might see somebody selling electronics. So it's, you know, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I bet you get some amazing spices out there as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Even just in the supermarket,
Yeah.
they have like you know how you see the deli and stuff when you go to the supermarket? Here they have a whole spices section.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And I bet the smells are amazing as you're walking by those. But
Yeah.
there we
Well,
go.
so, sometimes
Yeah,
not.
sometimes not. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes if I cook something and I do it too spicy, I'll cook the spices first. And all you can smell in the air for a day or two is those spices up in the air. And if I put too much chili in, that's it. I can't breathe because all you can taste is chili.
Yeah. Well, the big thing here is curry.
Yep.
Because we have a lot of Indian nationals that live here, and folks from Pakistan and Nepal.
Yeah.
So chances are, if you get something at a restaurant, because we have a lot of Lebanese restaurants,
Yeah.
which, oh my gosh, are fabulous. Like I'll tell them, no curry, please, because
You don't like it?
I won't be able to taste anything for days. Yeah.
Right.
Because if you tell them no curry, you're still going to get the curry. It's just going to be like, I joke and I say it's contact curry. It's not like they put it on there. It's
Yeah.
you're getting it like from the grill or whatever it is that they're cooking in. So you
Yeah.
still get it.
You
It's
still
just
get a bit
not
of the
like,
flavour. Yeah.
yeah.
Lula says you've got such a wonderful smile as well. So there you go.
Oh, thank
I
you for
thought I would
that.
pass that on.
I am, and that was one of the things that I was talking to Laura about. I said, "Oh my God!" I said, This is. I will have to tell all of y'all that this is the first time I have ever showed my face
Oh,
in
is it?
Resin.
We're
Yes.
privileged. There we go. Feel like we've got a celebrity now. And I love
Yeah.
the ink, by the way, on the arm. I've been noticing your ink, and that looks
Oh
amazing. Your
yeah.
sleeve.
So this one I got when I was deployed over to Afghanistan, and I for my final R&R, I flew over and met my husband in Thailand, and it took 4 days to get
Wow.
this because it goes all the way around the back and it goes all the way up to the top of my shoulder. So yeah, it was
Is
kind of
it?
painful, but well worth it.
Is it old school how they did it? Did they do it with like the
Oh
little
God, no,
tapping?
no.
I've
And now
seen those.
you can have that done at the temples.
Really.
There, yes, absolutely. Not me. Mm-mm.
I would
No
love to have it
cream.
because I quite like tattoos as well. I would love to have one of those done, like the proper ones where they're tapping it on that little piece of wood. And
It would have to be like super tiny.
yeah,
I don't know that I could, like, I have a high tolerance for pain, but
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
it'd be cool though. It'd be something authentic that not many people
Yeah,
have. So
exactly.
Right, where did we get to? So Sandy was asking if you speak any Arabic languages.
No, the only thing that I know how to say in Arabic is ma beshki Arabi shway.
And what does that mean?
I speak very little Arabic.
That's probably a good thing to know.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, again, most of the people here speak English,
Yeah.
and if they don't, they just like wave you off because
Yeah.
they don't, yeah.
Did you ever do that thing where if somebody doesn't understand, you just start talking louder and slower? It's a very English thing. If you go on holiday and you don't speak the language, then it's like, can I have one beer? And that's kind of hoping that they understand.
And well, yeah, and it's funny that you say that because we just changed locations for our office, and so somebody had to come in to do. Oh, they were servicing our aircon units, right? Because they're those. I don't even know what you call them. Split units, I think is what they
Okay.
call them, right? So you got the little thing, and it can either blow hot air or cold air, and it's got the outside thing. Anyway, so as you can tell, this is a very dusty, deserty, sandy area, right? So the wind blows all the time, and so it gets caught up in that, and they have to like literally wash it out.
Yeah.
And so the guy knocks on my door, and I said, "Yeah, hi, what can I do for you?" And he hands me this piece of paper, and he says something, and I'm like, okay. And so I pulled over the piece of paper and I'm reading it, and he says AC. And I'm like, yeah, I have an AC unit. And then he said something else, and I'm like, and finally, after standing there with my mouth hanging open, I was just like, okay, I don't understand what you're saying. And he
Yeah.
was like, service, aircon. Got it. Come on in.
But yeah, it's amazing how people do that though. If they don't speak a language, they'll just slow down and go a little bit louder and hope that by voicing it like that, people can understand. It very rarely works.
Yeah, so we have what they call a building Harris here. He's in charge of the whole building, and his maintenance person washes our cars, right?
Mm.
And like it's with a bucket and a rag, and but again, it cleans all the dust off, so I'm okay. And I pay him like 10 KD a month for it, but he can only say hello, ma'am, and car wash money.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Money.
that's
And hello.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he'll come up to me and he'll say, "Hello, ma'am, car wash." Oh, okay. Give me a second, and then I'll have to dig in, and
yeah.
So I'm like, yeah,
Um,
that's what it is.
Dawn was asking as well. She said she wanted to make sure that you'd seen that she gave your channel a shout out a few videos back.
Oh, I did not. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go check it out.
There you go. You know now. Lisa says you're a fabulous guest and she loves you. So
Thank
you're
you.
coming across well on the camera for the first time, clearly. Amy was asking if you're home yet or if you're still in Kuwait.
No, I'm still in Kuwait.
When is it? Is there a set time when you're due back? Because I know you spoke to me before the show and said that obviously not in the not too distant future you're planning maybe to retire. Is there a set date or?
No, not really. So I was eligible to retire when I was 57, but then when you start digging into it to look into retiring, they say, oh, well, wait a minute. If you retired before you hit 62, we're going to take 5% of your retirement
Oh,
until you
wow.
hit 62. And I'm like, yeah, no, not going to happen.
No, you want your money.
Yes.
You put too much work into it now. That's it.
Right. And I have glitter and vinyl to buy. So, there's that too.
Sorry, I've just got Patty on Insta as well saying, are you talking English or US English? For me, it's more clear English. I think that means when you're talking slowly, possibly. I think she says that she understands English better than she understands USA English, I think, American.
Well, and again, we have so many different slangs and, I mean, and I always joke because you guys do too, but
Yep.
they're, and again, uh, the first time I really learned some of these words was watching Wendy over at Toonfish Crafts and
Yeah.
Claire. And like my favorite word there for a while became chuffed. I am
Sure.
so chuffed.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah, so it's neat, but it is hard to understand Americans though sometimes because we've got weird accents and
I
yeah.
think it's really strange. I was having this conversation the other day. I think English language, as in British, shall we say, is dying out, and it's really
Really?
strange. But I think it's because of how popular things like YouTube are. So my little girls will come to me and say, "Daddy, can I have some candy?" And I'm like, "No, because we're not in America. We call them sweets.
Sweets.
And if you ask for sweets, I'll get you some sweets." But it's little things like that, and there's all sorts of different words that they come out with. It's like my youngest was walking down the street the other day, and she's like, "The sidewalk over there," and I'm like, "No, it's a pavement. We're in the UK." But I just think it's interesting how because as YouTube and social media is getting bigger, there's more of an American presence, I think, on social media, and I think the younger generation are picking up on that, and therefore gradually, I think there's less of those more common British words coming through.
That's you probably hit it right on the head. I mean, like with me, I raised my kids pre-internet, pre-cell phone, pre-social
Yeah.
media. And so I always think to myself, oh my gosh, if if they had had cell phones when I was a kid, oh Lord, out of some of the stupid stuff I did I would have been a viral sensation back when I was a kid. But um, I'm kind of glad that I raised my kids pre all of the electronics
Yeah.
because like somebody was making fun of me the other day um because I had so I one of the things my other duties as assigned, I pick up mail twice a week
Okay.
for the brigade, and you have to sign the sheet, right? And if you've got a lot of mail to pick up, they've because you have to account for what you hand out. And somebody said something, and I said, "Yeah." I said, "The more I sign, the worse my signature gets." I said, "But back in the day, I used to remember having to do stuff in triplicate with carbon paper.
Okay.
So, I guess we can't complain
Yeah.
because
But
there
no, I
is
think
there is no mistake making with carbon paper."
no, you can't, can you? Because it just traces straight through. But no, it is interesting, and I think don't get me wrong. I was having another conversation earlier on with one of my clients and about AI, and how in some ways it's amazing as a tool,
Hmm.
but it's also scary at how quickly it's
Yes.
progressing. Um,
Yes.
and it always makes me look back to a certain film, which was The Terminator and Skynet,
Oh yeah.
because there's nothing to stop it getting more intelligent. And that's the thing.
And
The more data it receives and is input, the more intelligent it gets. And I suppose it almost, and I'm not a big conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but it does make you think, what if we can't stop it learning? And it does want to stop the world functioning in the
yeah.
way it does.
Well,
Um,
do you remember iRobot
yeah,
with Will Smith?
Will
That
Smith.
is what scared me about AI.
Yeah, but it could happen. And 10 years ago when these films, or 20 years ago when these films came out, there was
Hmm.
no such thing. It was not in the mainstream or anything like that. So it's just really interesting at the minute how technology is progressing. Right, we've got another question. So Diane asked if it's easy to get resin and resin accessories in Kuwait.
Amazon is a wonderful thing.
Okay, they ship to Kuwait
Yeah.
then, I presume.
So well, and again, the APO thing, right? So we have um, most places, and that's why I order most of my stuff through Amazon, because surprisingly enough, people and I had to actually talk Laura through. That's how she and I got to chatting back and forth,
Okay.
because the APO address is its own little niche. So when you're filling out, the address thing, it'll be APO is the city,
Yeah.
and then there's an initial, and like for me over here, because it comes through Germany, it's AE. Well, I mean, anybody that's international, AE is UAE, right?
Yeah.
So I always have to explain to people, no, it's Armed Forces Europe, so it's AE, because there's
Yeah.
AP, AE, AA, something. I don't know. There's like four of them. But a lot of people don't ship to APO because you automatically have to fill out a customs form.
Okay.
So, and yeah, like Laura just said, neither does the post office. Yeah. So if you are around a military base, whether it's Air Force or Army or Navy, and they all those post offices know APOs.
Right.
So but yeah, it gets difficult, but Amazon Prime has no problem shipping to APOs. So
Okay.
as long as when when the item is in your cart, if it doesn't give you that little error message saying, oh, we can't ship this to your location, I get it.
Yeah,
So
that's good. Summer was asking as well if anybody watches Gall World. I've never heard of it.
me either.
No. So I don't know
Yeah.
what Gall World is, Summer. You'll have to put it in chat. I've never heard of it, but maybe somebody else has. And Laura was saying you should show your face more often, Kristin.
Yeah, that's
So I
probably
want to
not
see
going
more
to
of yours than mine. So if I go get a mask or a bag, then everybody will be happy. Um, let's have a look. And Laura was asking as well, did you get those face masks that she sent you along with the moisturizer?
Yes. Yes, I did.
There we
Yeah, I
go.
didn't put them on my channel when I did, when I did my unboxing. I left those to the side because I figured, the crafting people don't care what I put on my face.
Well, maybe that could be a new video. Do it in a face mask.
Oh,
Could be a
hey,
new
there you go. Good idea, Andy.
start a new trend. Forget viral resin piece, viral facial piece whilst doing resin.
Well, I'll do it. Yeah, I would have to. I'd have to find a good thumbnail for that.
Yeah, definitely. But no, let me know. I'll create you one for it. It'll be quite funny. But
Okay. All right. Sounds
we could
good.
do it. We could do a collab as well. So I could have like one of those
Ooh,
dark charcoal face masks, and
yes.
then you could have whichever one you want. That'd be
Yeah, I'll
fun.
have one of those white ones that, like boost your collagen.
So I've seen some of your videos, and actually, interestingly, the tumbler one I think is the most popular on your channel at the minute, and that's something I've never done yet. I haven't done tumblers. So what I was going to say is, has it ever crossed your mind, and this is just me giving sort of free advice, I suppose, if that's your most popular video,
Why don't I
there's
do
only
more
one
of them?
tumbler one that I've seen on there, though, so why not double down
Um,
on it?
I think there's three
Oh,
altogether.
is there?
Three or,
I've seen
three
a
or
couple of the
four.
shorts as well, but I thought there was only one full-length video on it. But because that's something that I've started looking at is which of my videos are more popular, and then not doing the same, but doing a similar style, and actually they seem to get a few more views.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah, it's just something that's worth thinking about. And again, because you are close to that 1,000, really, you're only what 240 subs away, I think, something like that.
Hmm.
So you're nearly there. Maybe just the next few videos, look at whichever ones you've done that are the most popular. Try and recreate those in a different way and see if that gets you to that 1,000.
Well, I'll try anything at this point.
Yeah, might work. And again, this brings me back to obviously your channel. What are your hopes and dreams for it? I always ask people this.
I mean, I think a lot of us, start out with, oh, I just want to, share my crafting, whatever, and then you get close to that monetization and you're like, okay, I just want to break even, right?
Yeah,
But I see my,
I've
I
only done
learned a
that one
lot.
month. I've only broke even
Yeah.
one. I was like,
Gosh.
I don't, that's
Well,
after being monetized. I'm like, oh,
well, and again, and I say break even, and there's no way that I would ever even be able to break even because I spend way too much money on just random craft stuff because I'll be watching one of you guys and I'll be like, oh wow, I gotta try that. Like
yeah,
Nikki and Gert with their clay.
yeah,
Look, I don't know. Look, you want a good laugh? Go back and watch the dinosaur collab video that I did.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. It like I will watch it back and just shake my head like, really, Kristen? Where were you going with
But you know what?
that?
Sometimes
Y-
they're the best. The ones that don't
Yeah.
quite work.
Yeah. I ended up making a brontosaurus, I think, out of clay. It was,
Again,
yeah, it was
resin
interesting.
doesn't always work. We know this. But sometimes they're your best pieces in some ways because this one always makes people laugh. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's my dinosaur. Yeah.
So what was your first piece? I haven't asked you that.
Oh gosh. The very first thing that I ever did with resin was a tumbler that I made for one of my coworkers. Oh, and it
Yeah,
was hideous. Absolutely hideous. Like I didn't understand the concept of, okay, well my tumbler turner is level. So why am I getting these huge mushroom things on one end or the other? Well,
yeah,
Goomba, you got to make sure that your tumbler is level. So yeah, it was a work in progress, and it was probably maybe like my third tumbler. Look, I went through some sandpaper
yeah.
on those
I can imagine.
tumblers trying to, and I put the resin on way too thick and it was clunky and it didn't fit in my cup holder. And, after a while, you're like, oh, do I really want to try this again? Yes. Okay. I got to do one more time.
And
And
then
then,
when you
and
get
then it
one that you
works.
really like, it
Yeah.
spurs you on to do more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was
Yeah.
like me and my blooms. So the first couple of blooms I did
Yes.
were terrible. And then now, since I've got the technique down, it's rare that I get a bad bloom.
I'm still very heavy with the white.
Yeah.
I really got to work with Amy
Yeah.
because,
But the biggest thing I found is depends on which resin you normally use and the thickness of that resin as to how much white pigment it can take.
right.
And whether or not, so I'll sometimes do a bloom with, let's say, an ocean white, which isn't very heavy. And I'll do that with a lighter resin. But then if I'm using a thicker resin, I'll use a white epoxy paste because I know it can take that extra weight. And that's where it's just getting used to it, really. And then obviously modifying the temperature depending on your resin.
Yeah. And again, I think that's just my, it's that learning curve. Like I've tried it and then I get discouraged because I get a bunch of blobs. But then I'll do it and I'll get these really cool wispy things, but all of the color will be in the center.
Yeah,
So, in a way it spurs you on to try again to see,
yeah.
do over. But sometimes you're like, oh gosh, do I really want to try and waste some more resin? Like, let me just do something I know. So sometimes it's, sometimes you're your own worst enemy. So,
Tim's saying try tabletop resin because it's so thick it doesn't matter how heavy the white is.
oh, good one. Thanks, Tim. I will
Might be
try
worth trying.
that.
Um,
Yeah.
right, we've got more questions coming through as well. So Kaz was asking if anybody remembers Ronio duplicates.
Mm-mm.
No, doesn't ring a bell for me.
No,
So,
me either.
sorry. And Dawn was asking if we've seen the new collaboration option on YouTube. I haven't actually.
I I did see that. So it's Art by Donna is doing a breast cancer collaboration
Okay.
in the end of October, and she was explaining it to us in the messenger chat that we have, and I was like, "What? You can what?" And and then Laura did it the other day. She had put something on her YouTube, and then or no, that was Instagram. I take that back. But then when Donna was saying something about it, I was like, oh, do I have that feature? You know, I thought, okay, well, maybe, there's some features that you just don't have
Yeah.
unless you're monetized, right? Like the fundraiser app or the fundraiser option.
Yeah.
Unless you've got like at least 10,000 subscribers or something, she was saying. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably never going to get that.
You will
So,
carry on being, but as long as you're consistent, you'll get there, And I think that's the thing. I think you gradually, with every video, you grow a little bit more, and each video hopefully gets that 1% better. And again, I can say this now because I'm less than, I think it was about 85 away from 10,000 now, which is amazing. I didn't think that I would ever get there. I genuinely didn't. But I think all it is, it's just being consistent so that people know that you're going to be there week in, week out. Try and mix it up a little bit and have fun, Hopefully in my videos, I come across as having fun whilst I'm doing it. And I'm sure you do in yours as well. And people like that because not everybody sounds like that in a video. Some people, it sounds very serious when they do a tutorial and things like that. So I think that's the thing. We've all got different personalities. And different people will resonate with different, excuse the pun, resonate. I didn't even realize I'd done it then. But different people will resonate with different creators. And I think that's where we're getting a lot more competitive on YouTube. But every year there's more people watching it as well. So
yeah.
I think we can all grow and we can all keep doing it. And I think it's just about staying positive and not giving up. Because again, I've seen some channels where I've watched like these YouTube gurus, and everything they say I take with a pinch of salt. Don't get me wrong, because I don't believe half of what they say. Oh, make $1 million a month with YouTube. I don't think that's ever going to happen. And I don't know why, but they normally do it in that kind of voice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But it's like, I'm like, no, you don't. I don't believe that. But I mean, but some of what they say does make sense, where some channels, and they show you the evidence, they were like silent for 3 years, and then all of a sudden, all of the videos start taking off. And it's because sometimes it takes the algorithm more time to find the right audience for those videos. And once it does, you've got that catalog. So then your growth just goes a lot quicker. So I would say hang in there. You will get to 10,000. I've got no doubts.
Well, I hope so.
And don't forget, when you retire, you can do 3, 4, 5 videos a week, and then you'll just skyrocket.
Right? Like I look at some of these ladies, and they're just cranking out the videos, and I'm like, oh gosh, I can't wait till I can retire.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. My house would be fuller. There'd be so much resin in here, I wouldn't be able to get in. But no.
So and again, my husband banned glitter in the house, so
Okay.
I have to do it outside. So although I did tell him, so I'm going home on leave in November after. So believe it or not, I go to Illinois for a week, and then I fly back, and I'll be here 2 days, and then I fly back to New York.
Okay.
And then I'm going, and then after I'll be there for 2 weeks, and then I fly to Germany so I can go to Italy with my BFF for Thanksgiving. So,
Wow.
but so I told my husband, I said, I put in a Temu order. I said, don't be surprised if you get a bunch of stuff. I said, but you told me I couldn't do glitter in the house, so I have to do something. So I'm gonna do candles while I'm home, and that'll be Christmas gifts for everybody. So he was like, all right, it's staying here, right? And I'm like, yes, dear.
Oh, definitely. Where did I get to? So, Lula was saying, what would you love to create if money was not a barrier?
Oh gosh, I never really thought about that. Wow. Oh, you know what I would like if it was if money was no object. So I have at home in New York three huge slabs of walnut that we
Oh,
got
wow.
from so I live in the country. Um and we have a lot of sawmills up there because we have a lot of Amish and Mennonite
Yeah,
people. Um, and one of the guys that we know knows the guy that runs a sawmill, and we were up there getting wood to build my husband's shed, and I. And again, squirrel, and I saw it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to have that. And so we ended up buying three huge slabs. And
wow.
of course, they're not dried yet. So they're sitting up in the rafters in my garage. So if money was no object, I would actually make those into huge river tables and
Yeah.
then use one of them in my she shed when I
Sounds
retire.
great. I mean, I think a lot of us in the resin community share that same dream of one day having a huge river table. What I would have tried with that, if you've got similar matching grains, is use one for the table and use another for the chairs, because you don't see that very often.
Oh, yeah. No,
If
you
you've got
don't.
a similar sort of grain, you could have, if you've got enough, and I don't know, but obviously one for the table, and then maybe you could do similar backing on the chairs in the same wood to go with the table.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I need to move to the States. That's it. You've got all of the
I
lumber
got
mills, core mills. That's it. I'm moving next year. I'm flying
all
out there, and that's
right,
it.
all right. And I'm trying to get out of there. Look, I'm talking
I'm
about
always so jealous though.
moving
I
to
watch all
Thailand.
of these like Blacktail Studio and things like that, and some of the wood they have on there is just like
Oh,
you can't get it in the UK, and it's just like, yes, it's expensive still because it's still like $1,400 for like these big slabs or something like that. But it's amazing, and it's like I see. Is it maple burls? I see people using those all the time.
yes. Oh God, they're
No, I've never seen them in the
gorgeous.
UK.
Really? Oh well.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. You guys have maple too. Well, maybe it's a different kind of maple.
I don't
I'm
know
not
if it's the
sure.
different climates that might make the burls more effective. I don't know, but yeah, I'm always jealous when I watch those videos and I see these giant slabs of wood. And you know what?
Yeah.
That's my dream one day, to just do resin and woodcraft. That's it. If I could do
So
that full time.
so I love to woodwork as well, right? So and we used to have a wood shop here on base where you
Okay.
could go and you get issued so much wood, right? And they had um I think there was pine, red oak, maple, walnut, and mahogany. So when I found out that they were shutting it down due to budget cuts, um, I I ran over there and I'm like, okay, look, I haven't come here in ages because I've been busy, but now I want to build an Adirondack chair.
Yeah.
So I came with my plans. I bought on, I don't know, Etsy or something. And I went in there and the guys helped me. And I am going to be the bougiest person at the campground because I am going to be the only person with a solid red oak Adirondack chair that has mahogany arms.
I bet it still look cool.
It does. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
But that's the thing as well. I only rent at the minute. So that's the dream as well, is to actually get my own property in a few years' time where I can actually build like a proper workshop, because
Hmm.
that's the thing. When you do woodwork, it takes up so much space you don't
It
realize. And
does.
I've got an outbuilding outside which is 3 foot long by 2.5 foot wide, and that is it. That's all I use for my woodwork. So,
Oh,
and literally, I have to
wow.
get every tool out of there before I start working. So, but yeah,
Oh,
it is amazing combining the two, though. And I think even recently I did a stand for a shop where I did, and that was just cheap pine. It was a cheap pine blanket box, but I got a blowtorch on it, blowtorched it, sanded
oh,
it
that's
all off,
really nice.
and then put resin on it, and
Oh,
looks
wow.
like it should have been like $1,000.
Nice.
Beautiful, but again, it's something that I love combining resin and wood. I think it brings out an extra look to the wood.
Oh, somebody's talking about pot. What?
I saw that as well. Yeah, I think was it Summer talking about pot leaves? I think I saw in the chat, and then Sandy
Something.
was asking what they are.
Maples,
Or is it?
maples are acers, but mostly referring to the Asian. Oh, okay. Tim.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, Tim's a tree guy, right? He's flowers
yeah.
and trees and he knows all the things.
Where did we get to? So everyone was saying your dinosaur was awesome. Don't be so hard on yourself
Oh,
as well. Mary Beth didn't get her giveaway. Oh, I will check that because you should have definitely had it, Mary Beth. But if you haven't, I'll resend it anyway. Have you got yours, Kristin?
no, and I know that it's going to take forever because it's coming from the UK, then it's got to
Right,
go to the United States, and then it's got to go from the United States through the postal service or the
right.
army over to me in Kuwait.
So that could be why then. But yeah, I'll check yours, Mary Beth, because it definitely got sent. So if not, I'll resend it. Dawn's saying she got hers, which is great. And most people, I think, did get them. So hopefully, if you're expecting one, you did get it. Where did we get to? Just a reminder, guys, as well, we've gone over the hour. So if anyone's got any, and can you believe we've gone over the
Ask
hour?
me
I can't.
questions.
Any more questions? Now's your time before we close it down. And Sandy was saying, aren't maples called aces in the UK?
Oh,
Again, you don't get many large aces, though, and that's why I don't think people chop them down in the UK very often. It's all mainly, if you find good wood, it's normally oak, yew, or ash, I think, in the UK are the three main woods.
oh yeah, I have three huge maples that are probably, I don't know, 80 or 90 years old in my yard. I always get worried when there's a big storm because, limbs fall off.
Yeah. But
They're
that's good because then you
huge.
get to use the wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a plum tree in my garden, and we had some really bad wind here about a month ago, and one of the main branches just literally snapped. So
Oh, wow.
I got my chainsaw and chopped it off properly, but I've kept the branch where it snapped, and I'm thinking about using that as a sculpture, just the way it snapped on the branch naturally, and then maybe putting a dragon or something coming out of it as an art
Oh,
piece.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Dragon or a phoenix or
It just needs
something.
to
Yeah.
dry out first, which will probably take you
Yeah.
about a year and a half. So,
At least.
yeah. But no, Dawn was saying that they've got some special wood in Hawaii as well, like guava wood.
Yes. And they also have special wood in like Thailand. You get a lot of the teak and oh gosh, I love going to the markets in Thailand.
Yeah. Laura was asking when I sent the packages out. It would have been about 3 weeks ago now. So, again, you should have probably had yours as well by now, Laura. If you haven't, let me know and I'll get it resent because most people have received them wherever they are in the world, which is nice to see. But there we go. But no, any last questions from anybody in chat? Now's your time. And I always ask this now, and I'll probably regret this, but have you got any questions for me, Kristin?
No, not really. I mean, I've been watching you for quite a while.
You
So
nearly said too long. I'm fed up of watching you now. That's it. I don't watch your videos anymore, Andy. I'm bored of them. I know what you was thinking. But
I've seen I've been with you through your bloom challenges.
yeah,
So yeah.
but no,
And I love your dog. How is your dog?
I don't have him anymore. I don't know if you missed that. Yeah, I had to rehome him, Reggie.
Oh,
Basically, I started back in an office in January of this year, which meant I was out of the house for like 12 hours a day. And I just didn't feel right him being on his own for that length of
Right.
time. And I managed to find him a home where somebody's in the house all the time,
Oh,
so he can be with
nice.
somebody. And don't get me wrong, I miss him a lot. He was my little boy, is the way that I would phrase it. I had him from a little puppy that big, and they are family. But that's the reason I had to make that choice, because it was the right choice for him. And it's sad, but he's in a happier place now, I think. So that's the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've said,
I miss my dogs.
yeah, I've said until I can do this full time, I'm not getting another dog, because I can't go through the heartache of having to get rid of them again. So that's another one of my dreams to getting this to do this full time, is I can then get a dog again.
Oh, there you go. Look, we all have to have aspirations.
I think that's the thing. Have goals, and then you've got something to try and get to. Katie's saying that you have been a breath of fresh air as well.
Oh, thank you.
But no, you've been amazing as well, so I appreciate you coming on. But to close us out then, do you want to give your channel another shout out and try and get anybody that's in chat, but also anybody watching this back, to subscribe?
So yes, it's Apo Kreations with the K. And I would truly, truly appreciate any traffic, any of it.
But no, I think, and you know, there's some amazing videos on there as well. The ones that I've seen have been great as well. So Lula's just putting the link up again. So that's the link to go find it. And I'm just wondering if you've gone up any since we started.
I don't know. Well, usually it's it takes a day for it to kind of kick in on.
No, your subscribers does it almost instantly.
Oh, does it? Well,
yeah, as soon as somebody subscribes, you're on 726 now. So I don't know if you was on what you was on before.
I don't remember.
Well, we know you're on 726 now. So in a year's time, when you come back on, and you're on 17,726, then we can go, look, you was here on the show and you had 726 at that point.
Right. You knew me back when, right?
Yeah, but that's the exciting thing. And it's like some of the channels that have come on, they came on when they had like 50 subscribers or 100. Yeah. And now I look at the channels, they're on like 3,500. And it's amazing to see that. I think it gives us, everybody in the YouTube space, proof that you can grow. And it's just about sticking the course. And what people don't realize is, there you go, Stephanie's just subscribed.
Thank you, Stephanie.
What people don't realize is a lot of these big channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, it's taken them 4 or 5 years to get there. So that's how much time you need to dedicate to it to actually see those results.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, a girl can dream, right? And if I listen to my sister, I'm gonna go places in the world.
There you go. You're up to 7:30 now, so you've just gone up 4 in 5 minutes.
Thank you, guys. I think KD said, and then Michelle Owen. Thank you guys so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
No, and you'll be at 1,000 soon. I guarantee it. What are you on watch hours wise? Have you looked at that?
Last time I looked, I was at almost 2,200.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and my sister's got, she's hooking me up. She's got me running in the background. So
now what you need to do is everybody that's based there as well from the States, you need to get them. If you want your mail, you've got to keep my videos on the playlist and you've got to keep watching them.
There you go.
There you go.
And I actually, I have a second phone that I keep in my office that I usually listen to music on. But ever since, like I'm getting up there, I hit past that 500. So I'll actually sit there and turn the volume down and just run a playlist.
Yeah, definitely. But if you could get everyone who's based there to do that as well, you'll be flying.
Oh, heck yeah. I know. Yeah. I'm going to go tell everybody in the unit, subscribe.
That's it. You need to subscribe. You need to watch all of my videos, or you're not getting your post.
Yeah.
But no, it's been brilliant having you on, and it's been brilliant, obviously, having everybody in chat as well. So thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you, as always, to Apex as well for sponsoring the live. Just to let you guys know as well, I'm doing a premiere at 6 p.m. on Friday, which is also coinciding with Apex launching a new product. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm allowed to say. But it's a very exciting product. And actually, I think you might be very interested in it.
I'll tell you, I love their quantum. I love it. And I was so gutted when I thought I wasn't going to be able to get it.
Well, do you know, if you're based in a very hot climate or a very cold climate, you might be interested in watching this video on Friday, is all I'll say.
Well, I will be there.
And it's a brand new product, so I'm excited to show everyone it on Friday. I've already played with it a little bit, as you can imagine, and I've done a couple of quick experiments with it just to test it out. So Friday, 6 p.m. on this channel, there's going to be a premiere. There's going to be live chat, so you can chat. I'm going to try and get the girls from Apex to pop into chat as well if they're free. But it goes on their website at 6 p.m. on Friday.
I can see it. Another order already.
But yeah, that's all I can say at this point. And I want to say so much more, but there we go. We'll leave it at that. And then I've been making, I didn't realize this was an ashtray until I made it, but this is a Halloween piece. These are actually little skeletons.
That is cool.
I just thought it was really cool this week. But yeah, lots of editing as well on my channel this week. But no, if you're around 6 p.m. UK time, on Friday, I'm going to do that premiere and we'll have the chat open. And it's going to be exciting. Yeah, Karen, you might like it as well, actually, because it's warm in Spain. And I can't say exactly why, but you'll see why on the video.
Right.
But yeah, it's been brilliant having you on. It's been great to finally meet you as well.
You too.
And don't forget, if you're watching this back, do subscribe to Apo Kreations. Let's help her grow. We all grow together. And I think that's the... Lisa's off to ice her hands. Oh, she's got poorly hands.
You feel better.
Yeah, I hope your hands are okay, Lisa. But it's been a brilliant live. It's been great getting to meet you. And I'll see everybody next week. And next week, just so everyone knows, we've got Jessica on from Flow Art with Jessica.
Ooh.
So yeah, that could be an interesting one as well. So I'll see you all next week. And thanks again for coming on. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
See you soon.